This is the quick start guide for the Excel Skills Loan Calculation and Analysis template. The template enables users to calculate, analyze and forecast the monthly loan balances and interest charges relating to any loan subject to monthly repayment and daily interest calculations. Okay, the first sheet is the transaction codes, and there are 7 default transaction codes, and these are just used on the statement to add entries. Let's look at the statement. So the loan statement sheet, the yellow columns are the user input columns. The light blue columns contain formulas that are automatically populated for entries that are added to the sheet. So you have the entry date in column A, which can be entered based on your regional date settings. Column B is your loan transaction code, one of the 7. You always start with a transaction 5, which is the interest rate change. That sets the interest rate, and if you want to change the interest rate, you will add a transaction number 5 and enter a interest rate and not a zero value for your transaction amount. So the next entry when you start with your template is to capture your initial loan advance transaction number 1. It will be a 0 interest and then the amount of the loan. The interest rate column, only the transaction number 5 where you actually enter the rate needs to be entered. The others are all 0. Then all your other transaction entries are similar. Repayments should be negative values, but all of them you need to enter 0 in the interest rate column and the transaction amount in column E. Then your interest is calculated on a daily basis with this template and basically accrued until you capture a transaction number 4. So transaction number 4 needs to be captured manually on the last day of every month, every calendar month. You capture transaction 4 and that actually capitalizes the calculated interest to the loan balance, as can be seen in this calculation in column F. It's only when that transaction number 4 is entered that your interest is capitalized. So it's calculated on an accrued basis and then only capitalized when you capture that transaction on the last day of every calendar month. You just continue adding loan account entries as you go along. The summary sheet contains a summary of your loan account movement. So everything on this sheet is automated. All you need to do is to extend the table to include all the appropriate months. So if you reach, or when you reach January 2020, you'll just drag that full handle down one row and you'll see January 2020 is added. It shows this message because the interest capitalization entry for that month end as to the transaction number 4 has not been recorded. So it's a reminder there. But in terms of the summary sheet, that's all you need to do. Everything else is calculated for you. So the last column will show that warning, and alternatively it will show how many payments have been made. Okay, so let's look at the review sheet. The review sheet can basically be used to compare your loan account statement against an amortization table as calculated when the original loan terms were set. So just you can have any review date entered there, and then here's your comparison between your actual loan and your initial amortization. It just shows that comparison in terms of repayments, but capital, interest, and costs as well. There's also a loan period summary, which compares initial amortization with your standard loan as per the loan statement, and then also a forecast of your loan. And the third section is the remaining loan repayments based on initial amortizations, your loan statement, and then a forecast for the remaining period. Okay, so the other sheets, you have an initial amort sheet. The only user input is the loan terms at the top of the sheet. The rest, this is automated, and this is your initial loan amortization table, which your loan statement is compared against. Then you have a forecast payment sheet where you can enter forecast payments for the remaining loan period. This will influence your forecasted calculations, which are compared against your loan statement and your initial amortization on the review sheet. You have a forecast amort sheet. Based on these forecasted payments, we do a full loan amortization forecast up to the end of the period, and the sheet is also used just for that review comparison. There's no user input on this sheet. And then the last sheet is a calc amort sheet, which is just a regular amortization table which you can use to perform any other loan calculations that you may want to during the course of the loan term. We just provide this additional sheet for any user calculations that you may want to test some calculations or determine sensitivities around if you pay off a certain amount on a loan, how much would your loan repayment change and things like that. Okay, so we also include a detailed instruction sheet where you can just review everything about the template, all aspects that's not covered in this video. And you can also go to our support section on our YouTube channel where we post videos based on user feedback that we receive.